Dear students, I am Mrs. Constantine, teacher of English attached to Cockwell Hindu College. Today we are going to learn about if conditionals. This lesson will be useful to all the grade 9, 10 and 11 students. Before we start, you must know what is a conditional. Let's see. A conditional sentence is a type of sentence that states a condition and the outcome or the results of that condition. In English language, there are 4 types of conditional sentences. They are zero conditionals, type 1 conditional, type 2 conditional and type 3 conditionals. To form conditional sentences, commonly or normally we use the word if to form the condition of that sentence. Now let's see the first conditional sentence. To talk about the real situations or the possibilities in the present or in the future, we use first conditionals. I will give some more examples where we can use this first type of condition. To predict something, or to plan something, or to give a permission to someone, or to offer something to someone, or to suggest, or to warn someone, we can use the type 1 conditions. If you fulfill the condition of this sentence, you can able to achieve the results of this type of sentence. Let's see the structure of this first conditional sentence. So we use the word if plus simple present tense to form the if clause, and to form the main clause we use the simple future form. Students, let's see some examples to clarify more. If we wake up late, we will miss the train. In this sentence, you can find 2 types of clauses. One is if clause that contains the condition. The other one is the main clause which contains the results of that condition. So if we wake up late, we will miss the train. Another example, if it rains, I will bring the umbrella. Here we have used the word rains, that means this is a simple present verb. If he comes to school, I will talk to him. In this example, we can see the if clause we have written it in the form of simple present tense. If we wake up late, we will miss the train. Here will miss the train, we have used will plus the base form, that is the infinitive. To write the main clause we use simple future. Students, in the conditional sentences you can find 2 types of clauses. One is if clause which contains the condition of the sentence. The other one is the main clause which contains the results or the outcome of that condition. So if you want, you can change the order of the clauses. When it happens, it doesn't change the meaning of the sentence, but you should make sure about the punctuational mark. Students, in this slide I have given you 3 examples and I have shown you the both ways of writing using the if clause and the main clause first. So for the first one, if we wake up late, we will miss the train. Here I have used the if clause first, so that I have put a comma after the if clause. The next one, we will miss the train if we wake up late. For the second sentence, I have used the main clause first, so there is no need to put a comma in between the clauses. So another 2 examples, if it rains, I will bring the umbrella. You can write the other way, if I will bring the umbrella if it rains. If he comes to school, I will talk to him. Here also you can write the other way, I will talk to him if he comes to school. So we have completed the first type of conditional sentence. Now let's move on to the type 2 conditional sentence. Students, now let's look at the second conditional sentence. First of all, you must know when and why we should use the second conditional sentence. We normally use talk about imaginary situations in the present or in the future. In other words, we can say the events that are unlikely to happen. If you consider the structure, we can form if clause by using the word if plus simple past. For the main clause, we use the word would plus infinitive. You can see the difference between the first conditional and the second conditional. For the first conditional, we use if plus simple present, but here we have used if plus simple past. For the results part or the main clause, here we have used would, but in the first conditional we have used will plus infinitive. Let's see some examples. If I had his number, I would call him. In this sentence, you can find the two clauses. One is the if clause and the other one is the results. In the if clause, I have written, if I had his number, I would call him. Even though we have used the simple past, that shows I don't have his number, that's why I cannot call him. The next example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a new car. The chance of winning the lottery is very low, so I can't afford to buy a car. If it rained, you would get wet. Here we can see the structure clearly. If I won the lottery, that's simple past, I have used simple past form. I would buy a new car, that is would plus infinitive, that is the base form of the verb. So if I won the lottery, I would buy a new car. Here also in the second conditional, you can also change the clauses. We will see some examples. If I won the lottery, I would buy a new car. Here I have written if clause first and then the main clause. The next sentence I have written I would buy a new car if I won the lottery. Here I have written the main clause first and then the if clause. Then the example, if I had his number, I would call him. I would call him if I had his number. The both sentences are exactly the same, but you must remember you need to put a comma. If you write the if clause first, you need to put a comma after the if clause. The other example, if it rained, you would get wet. You would get wet if it rained. Now we will see the third conditional sentence. The usage is to talk about the imaginary situations in the past, a past action that did not happen. Again, in the second conditional, we have talked about the imaginary situations in the present or the future, but here we are using the past action. So we can say the unfulfilled actions, we can use the third conditionals. To form the third conditional, we'll have to use the word if plus past perfect, and for the main clause we can use would plus have plus past participle. In this slide I have given more examples, so you can see some examples here. Here in these conditionals, if he had studied hard, he would have become a doctor. Here there are two clauses. The if clause contains the condition, that is, if he had studied hard, the results would be he would have become a doctor. That shows he didn't study well. That's why he didn't become a doctor. If the other example, if I had saved my money, I would have bought a car. That shows I didn't have money. I didn't save money. That's why I didn't buy a car. So if I had met my teacher, I would have thanked her. Here also, I didn't meet my teacher. That's why I didn't thank her. So we can see the past actions. So for our disappointments and regrets, we can show by using the third conditional sentences. Students, let's see the structure again, third conditional structure again. If we had studied hard, here I have used the word if plus the subject, and had studied, here we have used past perfect to form the clause. To form the main clause, again would plus have plus past participle.